So I'm going to welcome everybody. And I want you to know that, let me double check. Yes, this meeting will be recorded. And I will send the recording to you and anybody else who were not able to come. I just think that the meeting like this is so important. We can make decisions, we can share ideas, and well, I certainly have quite a few ideas I want to share with you to get your opinion. And of course, we like to know each other, and just so nice to see you without the traveling. But of course, I ain't traveling. I want you to know that I am going to the world trip, and I already bought my ticket. I'm going to where I'm going. Oh, well, this is a little personal. I'm going to Vietnam because I was born there and I know very little about it. And I have always have this dream about riding a bike in the village. So I'm going to join a bike trip for two weeks. So I now getting myself used to the bike so I can ride bike in Vietnam. That will be the beginning of my trip. Then I'm going to Belgium to run a workshop. So if you like chocolates, just come and see me in Belgium. We're going to have a workshop there. After that, I'm going to Canada. And then after that, I will be in USA for our master trainer. As usual, you know, online is fantastic, but I really think we need some in-person communicating, working. And so I hope the people who can come to USA in June do come for the online MT training, in-person MT training as well. That's going to be Thursday, Friday. I have sent out a newsletter on those dates, but not on the master trainer training, which, as you know, usually in the USA master trainer, I also welcome senior trainer to join in. It's really good to work together. So, and then the pre-conference and the conference, I'll talk more about that later. I'll come back to that. I just want to sort of start with the business that's got to do with all master trainer and senior trainers. And one of the things that's very relevant to this meeting is that I have talked to some people and I really like your opinion. If you don't really like it, I would change it. But what I'm thinking is we still meet every 3 months, but I would like to change the time to be 1 hour earlier. And then I would like to have the meeting around half an hour only. And then the next hour, we're going to train. We're going to practice together. So I really think, the thing of what we do is talking is very important, but doing is even more important. And I thought it would be beautiful. 3 monthly, we practice together. I've been doing it with the Australian MTs, STs. And I think this would be good. We do it around the world, especially for MTs who have difficulty travel. So yeah, so that's my change, is we're going to still meet every 3 months, but 1 hour earlier. So then we'll talk, trying to keep talk for about half an hour, and then for 1 hour we'll practice together. And we're always going to start with TCA and 73, and then the rest, I'm going to leave it open for suggestions. So we'll work out the procedure there. So I heard when I shared this idea with some of the MTSTs, that seems to be very supportive. But anyone have any thoughts about that you'd like to raise? And I'm going to ask Ernie to be the coordinator, because there's a few of us. If you want to say something, can you just use the chat button, talk to Ernie,
or raise your hands, and then Ernie will let you know.
Dr. Lam, would you please make me co-host so I can navigate?
Absolutely. Thank you for
Thank
that.
you.
I keep forgetting.
Yeah,
and I'm going to make a few more co-hosts.
Yes.
Pat will be co-hosting. Elena will be co-hosting. You just have to accept it, and that give you more power. Yeah, you can. I'm making need a co-host. Just whoever I see right in front of me, wherever you appear in the screen, I just make the few guys on the top, same right in the front. I'll make you co-host too. So I think I have a few co-hosts now. Ronnie. Okay, so if my internet drop off, Megan. Okay, so I think there's enough co-hosts now. If any reason my internet drop off, the co-host can take over. And also being co-host, you don't have to wait, you can talk more easier. Otherwise, it's the same. Okay, right. So back to the change of time 1 hour earlier, and we're going to do practice for 1 hour. If you like it, give me a thumbs up, and if you have any another ideas, do send me to talk. Yeah. Okay, well, fantastic. I see a lot more thumbs up than down. I didn't see any thumbs down. So, okay. Yeah. I'm just for your information, I have start taping this. So I was send the tape to everybody, whether you hear or not. The only thing is you just have to make sure you receive the Institute's email, the MailChimp email. Okay, well, if you have anything to bring up, please text message Ernie. Meanwhile, there's two other important topics I want to bring up. The first one is about our future. In the January workshop, Raymond and me and a lot of other people got together, and we talked about the future of our vision. Really, the Institute represent our future, our vision, and Raymond's very concerned that we need to cultivate successes, especially he's been a chair for many years, and he is a very busy and visionary person. We're so lucky to have his wisdom and his contribution all these years, but he would like someone to take over exam stage. And I can understand that, right? And also, yeah, so that is one that, as just in case you're not aware, the chair of the board is elected by all the board members, and all the board members are elected democratically. STs are by STs, MTs by MTs, and each region, there's 3 regions in the world, each region have 1 MT rep and 1 ST rep. And so there's 3 MT reps, 3 ST reps, as well as all the MTs elect the director. And then we have representative for instructors, representative for participants, and two invited experts. Excuse me, just 1 minute. So we're talking about board members. We'll love to see more representation of younger generations. Not that I'm getting older, but it's really good to know there's a young blood to reach different age. So, and then we're also looking for experts that can contribute. Now, just for your information, Raymond is the president of the National Arthritis Foundation in Singapore. And when he took over the presidency, the Arthritis Foundation Singapore's a pretty well-to-do country. They were running, going close to negative. And Raymond was able to find experts, accountants, lawyers to join and to work. And the Arthritis Foundation in Singapore recently been elected as one of the best non-profit organizations for being transparent, being effective in Singapore. So I think he did a great job there, and we're really lucky to have him part of our influence. Our thing that is suggestion is if you know someone like who's an expert in laws or in accounting or in business, that the person, if that person is passionate about our purpose, our vision, then by all means, ask your friend or recommend to us so your friends can join in to help help our future. So those are the things I would like you to be mindful of. And if you think of somebody, email me or Raymond and talk to your friend if they want to contribute. Our vision is global and we really, really need help to be effective. On this note, I also like you to join me to welcome the 6 new master trainers and several new senior trainers. If you don't know who they are, read my newsletter. Go back to the website, you see the newsletter and their names listed. I can just see one there in my screen. That's Katie. Hey, Katie. And there's others here, but Nina, right on the top there. Welcome. Okay, so those are one of the things I want to mention about the future. Anyone like to comment on this topic or other topics, please?
Dr. Lam, we have 2 people who want to contribute to the conversation, but it's not directly related to the new MTs or STs. Would this be appropriate to have them talk now?
Yeah, could I do my last topic before we do that?
Okay.
Okay. The last thing is these things happen. That's why the workshop, the annual workshops are so important. We get these ideas and suggestions. Now, they were taught. I want to emphasize this is just ideas. It's not being, we have to see how practical it is and all that. And same as the fact that stage 1 is not compulsory. Okay, you're welcome to use it in any way that works for you. But you can use stage 1, incorporate to your normal workshops, 2-day workshops. Even though stage 1 costs you $80, but then they don't have to buy the DVDs. So that's $20 off that. And the suggestion about stage 1, there were a lot of good feedbacks about it. And quite a few MTs here use it. Is that to have the length of time extend to, instead of half a year, to 1 year, or even 2 years. because they feel it's very useful and people can use as a reference. Actually, I'd like you to know when we started doing the stage 1, the original price was 150 US retail, and through the master trainer was 100, and we cut down to 130 to 80 to master trainers. And the initial period is 3 months, and we extended to 6 months. But I'm talking to our people about extending it to 1 year or 2 years. And the other thought is to use it for update as well. As you know, when you use stage 1, you can cut down the training time from 2 full days to 1 day. And from all the work I've done and the feedback I got is that people were better prepared, and you can charge the same, but you only work 1 day instead of 2 days. And then while you pay $80, your participants save $20 from buying the instructional DVD. So in other words, it's the difference is, for me, that's very minimum. So should we extend it to 1 or 2 years? I'm still working on our people, thinking of the effects. The other suggestion is for the membership or the registration to the board. You know how people pay $25 Australian, which is about $19 US, to be certified and listed on the board. And now that increased to 40 Australian dollars, it's about 29 US dollars, 28 US dollars. There's still, this fee is still very small compared to any comparative association. So one suggestion is to incorporate this fee into your workshops. So the suggestion is, let's say you charge $280 for USA for a workshop. If you put another $50 on it, and then they will automatically get the board membership for 2 years. And likewise, when they update, so you don't have to chase them to pay. And you know, the workshop fee even increased by $50, still extremely cheap compared to training of fitness leader or any comparison to other people. Raymond just got a grant from his university to teach TCA, and Singapore dollars is about the same as USA dollars. They charge $1,400, and the university give a grant to pay $1,000, and the participant pay $400. It's really interesting, you know, like, wow. So if we charge 280 plus 50 and people get their membership, it's still considered low. Again, none of this is in practice. It's only part of the thinking, and your feedback, your thinking is really, really valuable. And okay, go ahead, Nina.
I like the idea of giving people the option or building into that first workshop for them. But I have some of my community instructors get certified in multiple programs every year. And so I would like to be able to have them be able to opt out of having to pay multiple membership fees every year if that were to occur, if that makes sense.
Yeah, good point. Yeah, that's right, because our membership, including any certificate. Yeah, that's a good point. Thanks for that. Yeah.
You're welcome.
I'm writing all these things down. Well, you are free to just voice your opinion. It doesn't have to be. Jocelyn, go ahead. Oh, sorry, Ernie. Well, I'll wait for Ernie to tell you to go ahead.
Okay, Jocelyn was next, and then, yeah, Jocelyn, go ahead.
Okay, I was just gonna say that, well, I didn't even think of that, Nina, and that's so true. Lots of people have multiple certifications. But I was also thinking, if this is good for 2 years, $50 isn't enough, is it? To cover
Well,
for 2 years?
At the moment, it's 40 Australian dollars. It's about 28 US dollars. So 2 years, 50, or it's about right.
Okay, and then what if they wanted to be a premier member?
Good point. I'm writing everything down. Thanks for that.
Was that all, Jocelyn? Okay, Virginia? You unmute, Virginia. You were
Sorry.
muted.
I said, I really like the idea of the stage 1 being available to people to review after they have the class, to go back for the first year, because they often, think, oh, well, what was that about? So I think that is really great. I like that.
Okay, thanks, Virginia.
Lorraine Norton, did you have something related to the same topic?
Okay, can I just add an answer to Virginia? The reason
Okay.
why we got to think about it, also this being practical and sustainable too. People might think I created that and then that's out there, but it's a lot of administration costs and staff costs, and of course, updates and all that involve my IT specialists. So it's not that once it's done, yeah. But of course, I'm talking very seriously with our IT, administration people. Thanks for that.
Okay, Lorraine, same topic?
Yes, I very much welcome the extension of access to the stage 1 program once people purchase it, because it's vital that people have a longer access for review and reinforcement. And we sometimes learn things in the first 3 months. When we go back to it 6, 9, 12 months time, as we grow and develop, we learn more things. And I think that's very important. It's a very good move. I have experienced that people for a conference subscription, I've experienced that if I have access to the conference recording for 1 week, there is one price. If I want to access to the conference recording indefinitely, I was asked to pay an extra $50 or whatever. So maybe you could factor into the change structure in that access for 6 months and access for 2 years if people wanted longer access. It could be possible. I know it's more IT work. Yes. And I also, while I'm speaking, I also want to mention about Premier membership and board certification. I'm unsure whether that makes any difference in the big wide world out there who work with us, whether we are just certified instructor or whether we are board certified instructor. Nobody ever asked me about it in the last 10 years. And I thought if we could simplify all this structure, it would be, I think it would be making our organization appear stronger instead of having certified instructor, board certified instructor, premier instructor. I think we might consider, while we are considering everything else, just to see whether we could simplify this process or make it. I'm not sure. I wonder whether MTs and STs around the world whether they should, what could they feel, what's their experience, whether being a premier member or not a premier member, does it make a difference to how other people see you, work with you? That's me. Thank you.
Okay, thanks, Lorraine. Ronnie, did you want to address the same subject, or are you ready to talk about your special topic?
Both, if I can. So first of all, about linking the membership fees to the workshop, I think that's a great idea conceptually, but there is one idea that, well, it means that people have no choice about joining the institute. So it is forcing people to join something they may or may not want to join. So I guess that's just something to contemplate. And then there's other people who might want to join the institute who don't do the workshop. So how will they, will they still be able to sign up as well, like the participants who come to classes but aren't instructors? So that was just one idea. And then how to get the payments from the master trainers to the institute. Would that be linked to buying the certificate will just cost extra? Is that how that might work?
Yeah, well, that's another very good point, Ronnie, about forcing people to join the institute. I guess from our perspective, we thought it's so good and it's all about our vision. Why would anybody not? But you have a good point, though. There are people who doesn't want to. And of course, I'll put this into consideration. As this will be, of course, a decision for the board, and there's quite a few board members here. So be mindful of those perspectives when we make our decision. The next point is that we are on the process of making associate membership to anybody who want to support our view. In fact, it's in the pipeline, because part of the reason, there's two reasons. One is that there are quite a lot of people express that they want to support us, but they cannot contribute money to the institute. The institute not allowed to take money any other way, except the membership fees. That's our association's rules. So the other thing is the institute are working towards getting a non-profit status. The main advantage of non-profit status is that people can contribute and that contribution become tax deductible. In other words, the institute can take money from elsewhere. And this process is very complicated. And we actually already spend money with a specialized lawyer and still in the process of thinking and working with the lawyer. However, interestingly, the lawyer says that if we just have instructors joining the institute, it's like an exclusive club. It's not a non-profit structure. So if we have associate members who just contribute money to help our cause, and then we can do something back to them, like share with them more information, then that make it more likely to be non-profit. So that's, and of course, the other reason is the institute with the COVID challenge. The institute, previously we have really healthy reserve, between $50,000 to $100,000 reserve, even on very small fees, because we had such a big membership base. However, that research went down to essentially negative now with the COVID challenge. So it's good to have better funding, but I'm absolutely sure that's a temporary thing. I mean, we have a tool that can help anybody in the world, and there's no reason why we would run out of steam, but it would be good to have more support. Yeah, so that it's actually being done. We already paid the IT people to construct that. So thanks for that point.
Okay. Can I talk about the other thing I wanted to share?
Sure.
Thank you. I started a crowdfunding campaign for some Buddhist nuns in Sri Lanka. Speaking of COVID hard times, Sri Lanka's actually declared bankruptcy in July last year, and it's an absolute disaster. So why am I speaking with you? Because many moons ago, Dr. Lam came and taught these Buddhist nuns some Tai Chi, and they're great Tai Chi supporters, and the little monks as well. So I'll pop in the chat the link. It's an international crowdfunding campaign, so anyone can donate anywhere. And I think it's lovely. If we can help, let's help. And if we can't, that's fine as well. Which actually brings to my other third point, which I'm going to sneakily pop in. When Dr. Lam came to Sri Lanka to teach the nuns, it was about this time last year, which happens to be his birthday. So happy birthday, Paul, for Thursday.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, Ronnie's amazing. She invited me to go to Sri Lanka, and I said, okay, I'll come and help her. And as it turned out, when I was there, Ronnie said, well, we must run the workshop. So I did. Thank you, Ronnie. And the 2 days of the workshop, it happens to be, well, I celebrate my Chinese birthday in honor of my aunt who brought me up. She's of course passed on. She probably wouldn't know what the solar calendar is. So my kids get really annoyed. Nobody knows my birthday because it changes in solar calendar every year because lunar calendar is different. And in Sri Lanka, when I ran that workshop Saturday and Sunday, Saturday was my lunar birthday and Sunday was my solar birthday. And that actually has not happened before. It's really hard for that to be so close to nature. Usually separate by weeks. And so, yeah, that was amazing time. And having said that, yes, well, this is kind of a social meeting. It's not an official meeting. So I think it's quite right for Ronnie to mention this topic. And so happens too, I was there, and I really like the Sri Lanka people. They are honest and they're nice, and unfortunately, they have such challenge.
And we went to the retreat, and I learned a lot from Ronnie's mentor. Bente is such an amazing person, and the nuns over there were amazing. And just to remind you, we do have 2 master trainers in Sri Lanka, and so they are having, of course, difficulty, and it's good to help our friends. We are global community, global family. So if you are able to help, please do. Okay, I think Pat has something to say too.
But before we go to Pat, everyone noticed in the chat box, you will see a link to where to donate to the Buddhist nuns in Sri Lanka, in case you've overlooked that. It's in the chat box if you want to copy that. Okay, thank you, Ronnie. Okay, and then Pat Lawson wants to tell about something very special as well. Pat, want to go ahead?
Thanks, Ernie. Yes, I just wanted to say the more that I'm associated with this wonderful group and with Dr. Lam and all of our programs, the more I appreciate how much goes into the nurturing, the work like that Ronnie did in Sri Lanka and bringing Paul there. Things that have happened, bringing different agencies on board. First, it was Arthritis Foundation in the USA, and then a lot of hard work around fall prevention grants. But we see it come and go, and it flows, and then it ebbs a little bit, just like life. And that I think, Paul, you used the term cultivating our successes and moving forward with them and never forgetting that vision is so important. So a call had come in to my service number about National Parks and Recreation wanting to start some trainings. And this, I think, might even have been a year ago. And it takes a lot of time and cultivation and recognizing what people want and tilling the soil. One of their reservations I've mentioned to MTs before, the lady said she was just totally confused. She wanted to get some instructors trained because National Parks and Recreation in the USA wanted teachers everywhere in all of our national parks teaching exercise for seniors. But she was very confused because there was such a variance in the way we posted our trainings and in our fees. So I'll be honest here and say I spent a lot of time working with her and trying to clarify things, did a big presentation on the web for her and for other Parks and Rec people. Anyway, she called last week to say they've applied for funding, they've gotten approved, they want to start their trainings. They decided by funding individuals from different agencies under Parks and Rec to be trained in individual master trainers workshops. So rather than host a big training in one place and pay for room and board, she said they felt that they could make better use of their dollars by paying the fee for people to go. And they approved 4 different programs. One was just walking in the parks, for example. There were 2 others that are not Tai Chi, and then there was only our Tai Chi program. Those were the only 4 that they gave their agencies around the country the option to choose which one they wanted to be trained in. So it gets whittled down. But they're starting out with 11 agencies over 6 states who have chosen to train instructors. So hopefully, if you're in USA, you'll be hearing from the National Recreation and Parks Association, NRPA. If you get calls that people are registering and they want us to invoice Parks and Rec, that is what I've done for other agencies so that the fee comes in. They're in 4 different spots in California. They're in Mississippi, West Virginia, Maine, Pennsylvania, and Florida. So hopefully this is the beginning of some of that nurturing, and it's made me appreciate how much hard work has gone into recognition by Arthritis Foundation, recognition by National Council on Aging, recognition on fall prevention. And I can only imagine what's happening in Australia. I don't even know, but it's like an alert call for us to work as a team, to be consistent. And when you see small things happening, thank you for all your help in tilling it and hoping that it will grow and will keep spreading the benefits of Tai Chi to all the people who can use it. So I just wanted to give you all a heads up, and I hope some of the training, some of the people come your way.
Absolutely. Nothing comes easy, but as long it's really important for us to have a program that has evidence, has good training, and great master trainers, senior trainers, and we have. Yes.
They are very alert to consistency. You know, the lady was very confused over why one training with one trainer would be $300 and another one would be $280. So that's something that we trainers need to just be clear what is being covered in each fee.
Pat, we had a question from Kitty. Kitty, do you want to ask Pat about that, whether it's a specific TCH program, such as Tai Chi for arthritis fall prevention, or is it expanded to other Tai Chi for health programs? Is that what you're asking, Kitty?
Yes, that's the question.
Yeah, I did not write it down on my notes, Kitty, so I'm actually not sure, but I think it was Tai Chi for arthritis and fall prevention because they had seen another presentation for another group that got them interested in that. but however, but they were talking to me about programs for kids. So I took that opportunity to talk about the revisions to the kids program to make it more relevant for older kids as well, and how much we had done to improve the addition of mindful movement for kids and all the research there. They got very excited about that and sent on some information to another branch within NPRA and RPA. And they told me that they want to do an article about it, and that they know that some people in NRPA will be very interested in the kids program too. So this is what, it takes a lot of tilling the soil, but this is how it can grow.
Yeah, thanks, Pat, and thanks for doing all this work. Yes, consistency is a very important issue, and that is one of the major reasons I constructed stage 1. Whether you use it to train or not, as you know, MTs has free access to stage 1. And it's really important before you teach a program to go through stage 1 yourself. There are some of the studies I mentioned in stage 1 that some MTs never heard of. Those are 2 key studies you need to know. Instructors need to know. So MTs should really know that. And the consistency of dosage. What is the dosage? If you're not a USA MT, you might not think it's important, but it makes sense to see the funding body want to know what dosage, meaning that they want you to know how many times they have to do our Tai Chi to get benefits. Where's the evidence for that time schedule, that dosage? It will be just as important in other countries, but in USA, certainly this is an important question, because the funding body has asked master trainers and got different answers, right? Now, if you're a master trainer in USA, and if you don't go through the stage 1, you might not realize that is the dosage based on evidence. So when you were asked, you are expected to give that answer. It's based on evidence. You can't make it up. And that's all this stuff are in stage 1. So even if you don't use it to training, you should use it for yourself to update and be aware of those information.
Yes.
Okay,
In support of what Dr. Lam is saying, as the Institute's representative to the NCOA, I have to tell you that I receive a lot of inquiries with regard to what's Dr. Lam is calling dosage. In order for our program to be effective, they want to know, they use the term completers. What makes the completer in a program? And that number is regarded in their paperwork for grant money. So that they constantly have to be, it has to be clarified what our research has shown to produce the best outcomes. So it's on the website, and they just need to be looking at it more and just getting hands-on practice. But Dr. Lam is absolutely right. That number is very important, what the dosages are for this program, because it relates to billions of dollars being given by the ACL to the CDCs, and it's on our review every year, every 2 years, as Beverly would know and Dr. Lam would know, that they're constantly asking if we know, their instructors know what makes for significant outcomes. That's why they get the money. So
Thank you, Alina. And in case you're not aware, Alina represents us in national bodies in USA, and she's also the key person for CDC to start supporting us. So she did a huge job for all of us around the world, not just USA. Thank you. And if I can just go back on the stage 1 again, if you have funding body anywhere in the world who really want to know what our programs consist of, you can also use, if they have the time to go through it, they can go through stage 1. And if you need a free code for such government body to access stage 1, I mean, mostly they don't bother to spend time going through it, but you might have people who's interested. Then you can contact me, and I'll offer those free codes to government bodies who want to know what we do. On that vein too, all the senior trainers, I'm offering 70% discount on any stage 1, but you have to email me personally. And it's just a matter of sustainability. I can't give it to everybody, only the senior trainers. And so don't pass it along. It's actually each time you log in, either me or my staff actually see you did it. So they would give me a report. Somebody, Elena, has logged in with 70% discount. So we do know you are a senior trainer, then it's okay. But if you give it to your friends, then that's not okay. I give a lot of scholarships. I'm happy to, but not just open up. It's not sustainable. I need my staff and I need funds to operate, to do some of those words that Pat mentioned.
Jocelyn, did you have your hand up momentarily? Did you want to contribute something to?
No, I was just clapping. That was a clap.
Oh, okay.
For Elena.
Thanks, Jocelyn. Dr. Paul, can I say one other thing that happened in the fall? And I'm so remiss that I didn't give you an update yet, but just trying to maybe to enlighten everybody how we're moving forward on a national level. And this program is being recognized because how we've come into it. In November, I spoke at the Moving is Life conference in Washington, DC. There were 300 people that were invited. They had to have personal invitations to come and contribute to all of these advocates that are making changes across the US and hopefully across the world. And they are dealing with muscular difficulties. So I was one of the 3 that was asked to be present. One, the only Tai Chi person. And the other one was in cardio, but he only did the breakouts. And then the other one was actually a physical therapist and psychologist doing drumming, taiko drumming. So I was able to present with Kathleen Cameron of the NCOA and a doctor, a psychologist out of Chicago University. He was emeritus. About 90% at least were all doctorates that were there. And I think the Institute received, in our program, received a great exposure because of the reaction to the breakout session. As I said, there was only 2 breakout sessions with any kind of exercise. Everything else was very much making political changes, how doctors talk to their patients, the care that's given to the patients. They want to make some changes or look at ethnicity, the racial, all national contexts. It is so comprehensive, but it was great to see that we made such inroads on a very important national level, making this country more mobile, getting going and making it more mobile. So I wanted to say kudos to everybody for doing a good job, and let's keep on working. It was a proud moment. Hard 4 days, but a proud moment.
Yeah, well, this conference is amazing. I was in the American Arthritis National Conference, and there were like 8,000 participants. And I paid extra to go to a morning breakfast meeting with Kay Rorick, the creator of self-help system. And Kay was talking to me and she said, oh, I know somebody in Hong Kong. So he introduced me to Peter Poon, who was a physio working in Hong Kong rehab. And that's how I get to run many workshops in Hong Kong and meeting many Hong Kong people. Thanks to me, a Chinese from Hong Kong, got introduced by American, in America to Hong Kong, back to Hong Kong. And I would not have been able to go back to Hong Kong without that. So, the conference might be boring, but it's very effective. Alina's doing a great job and attend many conferences.
I wanted to say that Dr. Callahan, who you have worked with, she couldn't, we went to dinner several times, and she couldn't say enough about your visit and your passion and how humble you were with them. And she looks forward to continuing to work with you.
Thank you.
Okay. Marianne, you have your hand up.
Yeah, thanks. I just wanted to follow up on what Elena was just saying. I think it's so important that more physicians and healthcare practitioners recognize this, and I'm seeing more of that. Last week, I started a new TCA FP class, and 2 of the people who came to the class were sent there by their physicians. And one of them said that his rheumatologist had actually provided him with a link to the Institute and asked him to get the DVD and practice. So he had already practiced it a little bit before he came to my class.
Well, that's awesome. Yeah. They're looking at all angles, including financial difficulty to get into an exercise program of some sort, just keeping this nation moving. And, you know, Dr. Lamb, the Institute, our program, our price point is so reasonable. Yeah, so reasonable compared to many others. And it's so appreciated for this big community that are financially strapped and want to get into just being healthier. So we're all doing a good job.
That's what we're all about.
kudos to all the senior trainer, master trainers who keep your costs down. It's your vision and your passion that makes it happen.
Marianne, did you have more to say? No? Okay. Ronnie, your hand was waving for a little bit now.
It was clapping.
It was clapping. Okay. Everyone's clapping for you, Elena.
Good, I'll get rid of these bags under my eyes.
Thank
then.
you. Does anyone else have anything to say about the same topic or topics that we've discussed in the last 15 minutes, or a new topic, a new event, anything to announce? I might add that Dino is beta testing something new for the website. We hope to hear from him soon. Dr. Lamb, do you want to mention something about that, or should I tell a little bit more?
Please go on.
Okay, so what the beta test would be on the website, it would be locating your class according to a map. So it's similar to Google Maps, but different. So if you would list where your classes are located, then whoever is checking the website for a class by day, by time of day, by type of program and so on, they can see the location and so on a map. So that's being tested. It's not complete yet, but we're hoping that that might be a very nice addition to make it easier for anyone who is checking the website and wanting to know about classes. So stay tuned.
Ernie, I was part of the beta testing, so I went through and put classes in, and it was really, it's very similar to how we put our workshops in. I found it very easy, and then it was really cool when I went back to look at it, and all my classes popped up on the map. So I think it's going to be really good. I hope everybody uses it once it gets tested through.
Fantastic. Pat, did you have a chance to test it? I know you were busy over the weekend, but.
Oh, no, I did mine, I don't know, last week or the week before. So
Yeah.
I had the same feeling because I had gotten 2 emails from people who said they had trouble trying to duplicate a class. It worked fine for me. And when they just went in and listed the second class, it worked fine. And so I compiled my comments for Dino. Dino's looking for comments and anything that we see, but worked fine for me. And I told them to compile their information for him. So yeah, I think it's a really nice feature, as long as it's a Tai Chi for Health class, listing it, and then people can see where it's at and how to get there. It's great.
Tony, you had your hand up for a minute. Did you participate?
Yes, I
In the beta
participated.
test?
I was part of the beta test, and I also added where I was teaching now, and it worked fine. It was great.
Good.
Another tool we could use. So it was
We're on
great.
the cutting edge.
Mhm.
That's all good.
Yeah.
I was thinking that maybe we should do something similar for people who offer online lessons, but listed according to time zones. So anyway, that is another possibility too. So I just want you guys to know, the board member will know, but if you're not in the board, you know that even though the Institute are struggling to survive, we are investing money on the website, on new features, and on new ideas, because we deeply believe we have a reason to be here and we're going to do well eventually.
Dr. Paul?
Yes, go ahead.
Elena, go ahead.
Okay. Just a sidebar, some of the feedback that I get from some of the agencies or the instructors, but on the grant in our meetings is that they are, when they run out of all the movements, when they've done all the movements several times, people are asking for more. So I say they're not asking for more of a form, they're asking you how to go deeper. So if you get a chance to do skills training, if you're a senior or master trainer, could you take a moment just to say, this is how you would layer the principles. Let's take it to commencement and maybe go a little bit deeper, because people don't know how to ask questions. So they think it's more movement. They mean more going deeper, enjoy where they're at, what they've learned. So that is a big issue that's come up.
Thank you, Alina. Actually, that is the topic. About a week's time, the forum, and please spread the news about the forum. And that is the topic Alina just mentioned. So our answer to that, and if you registered, even if you don't come, I will send you the recording. Yeah. Let your participant, your friends know that they can come to the forum, they can register. If they don't turn out, they still get a recording, because we have a list, and then we're saying everybody in the list a recording of the forum. And it's free. I mean, you can contribute $6 for a meeting, but you don't have to. If you just write no pay, no space, just no pay, and it'll be free. I think the forum's a good idea. I learned so much talking to everybody. I hope you come, and I hope you spread the news too, get more people to come. And the other thing, while I'm talking to the leaders, if you have something to share, a topic that you think many people will be interested, email me, and you can be a guest speaker in my forum on that topic. If I decided that topic is of interest to most of our instructors, it has to be something helpful to our instructors about our program. Well, that's been really nice. We went through a lot of things. We have 1 minute before the hour. Of course, I can stay longer if you want to. But before we close up, let's take a picture together, shall we? I'm going to try to do this myself. Press one button somewhere. Screen. This will be it. Everybody just smile, look at the camera and smile. 1, 2, 3. Well, I hope that worked. Now I'm going to the next page. Everybody again, please look at the camera. Your camera is on top of your laptop. And smile. 1, 2, 3. Again. Okay, now let's try this. Let's do a Tai Chi movement. Oh, hi. Let's do a Tai Chi movement. Do this. and then I'll do one more picture. Okay, 1, 2. I only got one hand because I had to press a button. 1, 2, 3. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and then I go to the second page. It's really good to have 2 pages. Okay, everybody, look at the camera. Smile. 1, 2, 3. Okay, now anybody like to have a last contribution? Please let me know or raise your hands before I close this session. Right. So just to let you know, the next meeting in 3 months' time, we start 1 hour earlier, and then we talk for around half an hour. Then we practice for 1 hour. And of course, I'll stay longer if I can. Usually, I should be able to be part of this, even when I travel late. I'm so excited going back to travel. Wow, it's fantastic. Look forward to
Dr.
seeing
Lamb,
you.
we've had a few requests for the full schedule of the upcoming global meetings. And I know that was sent out for actually covered 2 full years going through next year, 2024. But some people are still asking because maybe that email was lost. Would you be able to send a new schedule?
Sure, absolutely. I will, because the schedule changed anyway. I mean, the date's the same, but 1 hour earlier. So I definitely will send everybody's schedule, and also I send a recording of this meeting as well. Yes, absolutely. Yeah, keep the communication. It's so important for us to just see each other, even on the screen. It's better than nothing, and that would start off the seeing you in person, make it even more fun when we're together in person. Okay, so I'm going to officially conclude this meeting. Thank you everybody for coming, and feel free to stay for another 5 minutes if you want to say anything unofficial or anything you're not sure. I'll be here for the next 5 minutes. Otherwise, feel free to log out to the office.